All right. Now you can make sure that everybody can hear my lovely voice. All right. All right. So, thank you guys so much for coming to listen to me chit chat and help you with unlocking posture, your flexibility, getting a little more mobility going. So for those of you who maybe have never met me or you've seen me arguing with the technology today, and yes, people can hear me. Awesome. My name is Jennee. I'm a massage therapist here at Firefly Hollow. I'm also a fascia stretch therapist. And I love what I do with massage. I also worked at a gym for about 6 years, and I had my own studio at the gym before coming here to Firefly. And prior to that, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. What can I do other than taking a bunch of medication to help myself feel better? And so I started learning more about the fascia system. I started learning more about what, sorry, that's annoying, what fascia does. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, it's gonna have to be annoying, I'm sorry. I also have ADD, so my apologies. So anyway, in learning about the fascia system, I learned that different stretches, different trigger point techniques, different ways of doing my workout to adapt to my level of pain, which was consistently about an 8 consistently every day when I'm awake, when I'm asleep. Lots of pain, wasn't fun. Through fascia stretching, through learning about the fascia, through doing different kinds of workouts in my workout routine, I was able to bring that down to about a 3 or 4. So any day, every day, my pain level, my entire body is at like a 3 or 4. So the fascia system. The reason I started diving into the fascia system is because fibromyalgia is actually, it's being still, researched and things, but they're saying that now it is more of a fascia, I don't want to say injury, but a fascia disorder, as opposed to being some kind of autoimmune disorder. So there's lots of research still coming out about the fascia system, and so it's learning a whole bunch of different things about the fascia system. So how many of you have heard about fascia? Do you know what it is? Have you heard the term myofascial release, or maybe just myofascia, and you're just like, oh my God, what is this new F word? F words are great. So fascia is so I want you to think of your fascia as and I hate to say it this way, but it is a web without spiders because they're creepy and they're crawly and I hate them and they terrify me. But think of this as a web, and it is a web that connects your entire body. This web goes through your organs, your muscles, individual muscle fibers. So every muscle, so like your bicep has these individual muscle fibers that group together to create your bicep. Every muscle fiber has fascia. Every muscle has fascia around it, through it, all of the things. If it weren't for fascia, we would not be able to stand up. We would not be able to move. We would not be able to do anything except be a pile of bones and organs on the floor. So fascia really gives us our body shape. When our fascia is healthy, we feel amazing. Think of this as like when you're a kid and you're out like riding your bike and then like you hurt yourself, but you have this really cool story, and then like you hurt yourself, but like then you feel better like 2 days later. And now like fast forward like 40 years when like you sneeze and you throw out your back. Different stories, but it's like the same aspect. You can injure yourself and heal when your fascia is healthy and your muscles have the room to do the things that they need to do. And then as you get older and you sneeze and you throw out your back, it is mostly because of habitual posture that sneeze combined with maybe leaning forward, or if you were sitting or driving or walking up the stairs and sneezing and throwing out your back. It was all those combinations of postures that your body was just like, nope, we're going to make you need 3 days to recover from this sneeze. So the fascia is super important because not only does it give us our body shape and gives us the ability to move, it also lets us know how flexible we are. So as a massage therapist, when I say, oh, your traps, the back of your neck feels really tight, it's not that the muscle itself is tight. It's not the muscle itself that is knotted, okay? It's the fascia. So this fascia, it's like a web. It's like when you get like a grandma's knit sweater and you get a pull. So like if you get a pull in a shirt and it gets knotted, you get this ripple effect going on. So imagine if, you just have a newborn baby and you're here, you're holding the baby on your hip all the time. What is that doing to your posture? That is, you're throwing all your fascia, all your muscle onto one area. And then when your kid gets really heavy or they start growing, then you're just like, oh, well, that hurts. And then you kind of start going this way to compensate, right? So just like when you get an injury, your body starts compensating. And that compensation, while you're trying to correct your posture, you're really just kind of pulling your fascia in a totally different direction. It's still knotted up over here, but now you're trying to pull it in a different direction. So when you have those pulls and those knots in grandma's knit sweater, it definitely causes a ripple effect. And the reason that our fascia can get tight and knotted, so to speak, massage therapists, we call them adhesions. And the reason that those happen is because our fascia gets really dry. So the studies that are happening on fascia right now is happening with people that are still 6 feet above the ground, breathing and going on about their day, inhaling and exhaling. When we die, our fascia also dies. Our fascia is a living, breathing organism within our body. It carries information like a wet string. So if you had just like a string and you dipped it in water, and there's all these little drips on the string, that's what our fascia does. That's how our fascia ends up taking our information throughout everywhere in our body. So when your fascia gets tight, it gets kind of dry and sticky. That's why after a massage, we tell you make sure you hydrate. Because what we're doing in a massage, yes, we're massaging your muscles, but we're also manipulating that fascia to get it to warm up to what I like to call room temperature butter, so that we can mold it and we can create nice, lovely butter sculptures, aka better posture. So a cold stick of butter is what happens when we, obviously a cold stick of butter, you go to spread it on toast and it makes that horrible sound. That's equivalent to when we go to get up and our bodies make those horrible sounds as you get older and you're just like, oh man, like it hurts. So we don't want our fascia to ever become a cold stick of butter. So when we go to manipulate our fascia, we want it to be warmed up to room temperature. So the class that I teach, our first portion is that we're warming up our bodies. We're just kind of doing some general lifting the legs, just kind of like a little bit of movement to just kind of warm up our bodies a little bit and warm up that fascia. And obviously, once we warm up the fascia and we get that room temperature butter kind of feeling, it's more easily manipulated. So in this class, the manipulations that I do in this class is similar to what my forearm or my elbow or my fist might do during a massage. So in the glutes, for instance, because that's where we're going to feel this difference with the fascia is in our glutes today. So what I will do is I might do a little bit of compressions. I call them like the cat, because pretty much this is like what it is. I go down the back and down to the bottom of the spine, and then I kind of go into the hips, into the glutes. And in doing that, I'm warming up the fascia, and then I might put my fists in there, I might move your leg around, kind of incorporate some different stretches within the massage. That's what we're going to do today, and that's what happens in the second part of my class. We use a tennis ball. We might use a yoga strap, which I did not put up here, but we have yoga straps that we'll use to help us relax our bodies into a stretch. We use tennis balls, our yoga block, our yoga bolster, and the idea in this class is to relax the body into a stretch. you can go to the gym and you can do all of the active stretching. You can do the dynamic stretching before you go and you lift things up and put them down. That's what I always said when I worked at the gym. It was like, oh, I'm going to go lift things up and put them down. And that's pretty much what I did. And so in doing that, I just lost my thought. Oh, my thought's gone. Anyway, I'll get back to it. So, ah, damn it. Darn it. Sorry. Lost my thought. Oh, it was a good thought. I hate it when that happens. Yeah, but it's not helping. Anywho, so we're going to move past that. And so, so the important thing is, why do we have to stretch our fascia? That's where I was going. Yes, thank you, brain. All right, so before we do a workout of any kind, whether that is yoga or if we're going to the gym, we want to do those more dynamic stretches. So we want to, do some shoulder rolls and things like that, or circles. There we go, and some shoulder rolls and things like that. And so once we get our bodies warmed up, we go and we lift things up and put them down. And then afterwards is when we can go into those more static, longer hold stretches. So static just means you're in one position and you're just kind of holding that stretch for a longer period of time because your muscles have already been warmed up. That fascia has already been warmed up. So the last portion of my class is similar to a restorative yoga class. And so we're going to use a bolster. And we're going to, for example, do child's pose over the bolster. We're just going to lay there for about 5 minutes. And we just allow our body all of the things that we just did in the first and second portion of the class. Then we just use that bolster and we just relax our body into a stretch. Maybe it's child's pose. Maybe it's something more for the lower back. It just really depends on what that class is focusing on. I usually end up teaching my class in like a 6-class series. So the first class is just kind of a general all over, get to know the class, get to know what's going on. And then I divide it into upper body, lower body, and just the beginning part. So it's not, on a level of like 1 to 3. It's not like we're not going right into level 3. We start at a level 1. And then class 4 and 5 is still upper body and lower body, but we go a little more deep into those stretches. And then that last class is still another full body session, but we're going a little deeper with our stretches and we're just holding things a little bit different. So because there's so many stretches you can do and there's so many different ways that you can incorporate a tennis ball, a yoga block. You can raise the floor. Instead of raising the roof, we raise the floor by using the yoga block. And we can really get a little deeper release into our bodies. So the point of this class is we want to release all of those tight adhesions, those muscle knots, right? We want to be able to restore balance to our body by improving our posture. If you're sitting at a desk all the time, most likely your shoulders are forward. If you have any kind of technology that you use at any point during the day, if you drive, everything is forward. So we really want to be able to release all of this tightness that goes on and get back to that posture so that we can go out no matter what age and we can ride our bike and we can go on a ramp and we can sneeze and not hurt ourselves. And if we do, then we can recover a little faster. So by relaxing in the last portion of our class, relaxing the body really helps the body and the mind to reset and be like, oh, so this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be a forward rolled shoulder. I'm supposed to be back here. Oh, okay. And it really helps us to be able to retrain our muscles and retrain our bodies to be like where they should be. I recently have taken on more admin duties, and I will say my posture is very different being at a computer versus being a massage therapist. Of course, when you are a massage therapist, now if you're a client, you're on the table, you don't see us, but we're pretty much like this while we're moving, or we're like this when we're moving, and we're just kind of, so we're either in a squat or a lunge all the time. So you're welcome. Enjoy. So, so back to how that fascia communicates with the rest of the body. when we're releasing all of that tightness, we're allowing more communication to happen in that area. We're allowing our bodies to be, we'll end up sleeping better because then all of that communication is able to get there. We have all of those lovely feel-good hormones that are able to travel everywhere in the body. It's amazing. Just a little bit of stretching every day can help improve your posture so much, and it can really help you to sleep. It can help you to have better massages, better chiropractic adjustments. It can put you in a better mood. And who doesn't want to be in a better mood all the time? So this is where we're going to go and break down into what the class is about. God, that was a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. Okay. All right. So we're just going to say that we've already done the first portion of the class and that we've warmed up our bodies. Okay. I always like to start with the feet. So we'll put a tennis ball into the arch of our foot and we would stand up and we would just kind of push that. We're going to pretend like we've already done that. Okay. It does feel absolutely amazing. If you have plantar fasciitis, the plantar fascia comes from the big toe, around the heel, and up somewhere into this area. So when you get plantar fasciitis, not only do you want to roll into the arch of the foot, but you also want to roll into the calf muscle itself. So that's where we're going to start since we're all sitting. We're going to put this tennis ball right into that cushiest part of your calf. You don't want it right behind your knee, and you don't want it too close to the ankle. And when you have it here, you can just kind of roll. I like to do some heel taps. You can do some ankle rolls. Would you guys like a tennis ball? Yeah. All right. Miss Emily, would you grab a tennis ball? They are right here in the cabinet. In that little bucket. Yep. And then there's yoga mats right behind you if you'd like to. Yeah. I may or may not have planned that. I'm just saying. All right. And then you can just kind of take that tennis ball out and then just kind of feel. You feel a little bit of a difference in your calf muscle. All right. So we're working our way up to the glutes, and I promise you're going to feel it then. So we're going to go other leg, other calf muscle. Again, right in that cushiest part. You can rotate the ankle. You can do some heel taps. You can just kind of do a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle back and forth. And so what we're doing now is if we're kind of giving ourselves a massage, pretty much. We are able to use a tennis ball for more than just playing with our dogs and playing tennis. And that release that you feel is just that little bit of pressure for a little bit of time that really just helps to release and add a little more blood flow to that area because we're allowing the space. So go ahead and remove that tennis ball and then just kind of give a little bit of a wiggle. All right, and so now we are going to put the tennis ball into what has definitely become my favorite stretch and trigger point technique. So we're going to put this tennis ball into our glutes. So what you're going to do is if you are wearing jeans and you're wearing them at your waist and that back pocket, where that back pocket ends is going to be the pocket of the glute. And you're going to slide that tennis ball into the pocket of your glute. Nope, not all the way into so you want to go up a little more. So we don't want to be at the gluteal fold where the thigh meets the glutes, meets your butt pretty much. So you want to go up just a little bit higher. And you want to be able to just find that spot. And you can just kind of find that spot. It definitely is going to feel weird and uncomfortable. We don't normally sit with a tennis ball under our butt. We're not chickens. So like we don't know what that feels like. Well, this is kind of like what it feels like, I guess. So what we're going to do is now we're going to add some active movement. So there's a few different ways that you can do this. You'll know that you have your tennis ball in a good area. There is a bigger area of the glute pocket. So you might be a little more up towards your spine and your hips. You might be out a little bit more, or you might be right into that little pocket. You don't want to be sitting on a bone. You will know if you are sitting on a tennis ball on a bone, pretty much. So I like to put my hands behind me, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of move my leg out a little bit, I'm going to glide my heel up a little bit. And then I'm going to come into a butterfly hold. And that face that I made is increasing my spicy level. So I always say that we have a spicy level. So my spicy level goes from a 1 to a 10. In stretching and in just like in massage and anything that we're doing, you don't want to be at that level 10. You can, that's similar to going right in with a deep tissue massage. And I mean like knuckles digging in there. And so I have a love-hate relationship with deep tissue, but I'll save that for another thing. So we want to be able to keep our spicy level around between a 5 and a 7. No more than a 7. We don't want to cause any damage to the tissue. So when you're doing this, you can go ahead and move. Flop your butterfly wing if you'd like. If you really want to increase your spicy level, you can just kind of lean over. And you can feel how that just kind of really increases the spicy level. And so I talk a lot in the class about staying within your spicy level. There are times when we will use this into our hip flexors. So where your hip flexes in the front, we will use this tennis ball here. Then we will raise the floor by putting the tennis ball onto a yoga block and then laying our hip flexors on there. Yep, that increases the spicy level. So this, what I'm doing now, leaning over here, is increasing the spicy level, okay? So then you're going to go ahead and release and just kind of move that leg around. And now here comes my favorite part. Go ahead and take that tennis ball out and watch everyone's face. Feel a difference? Feel like you're kind of sitting a little lopsided? Isn't that crazy? So now when we get up, after we do the other side, we get up, we're all just going to shake like Shakira. And you can dance, you can sing however you'd like. But that's really like what we're doing. We're allowing all of that space so that we can all be better belly dancers. So that's what it is. So now we're going to do the tennis ball. Same area on the other side. Find that gluteal pocket. And you will find that one side is always a little spicier already than the other. And it's funny because like everybody always starts on their more dominant side. And you're like, oh, that's not bad. But then when we switch to the other side, everybody's face is like, oh. And then you can go ahead and bring that foot back. My knee cracked. Goodness. You can go into that butterfly. You can flop your butterfly wing if you'd like. And again, this is all. You do not have to do everything that I do. I teach this class once a week. So I've definitely built up, and I also taught it at the gym before I came to work here. So if you feel like, oh, all right, this tennis ball is not bad, like, could probably spice up my stretch a little bit, kind of like a Spice Girls, Spice Up Your Life, that song. But we're going to spice up our stretch. So you can always go from a tennis ball to a lacrosse ball. The tennis ball has a little more give to it. So I always start everybody with a tennis ball. Once you have the tennis ball for so long, you want to get something that has a little less give to it. Pretty much then it's going to have less give. So it's less of your body pushing that tennis ball into the floor. And it's more of that tennis ball pushing into your muscles, into that fascia. So you can, again, lean over a little bit. And you'll also notice that, like, we do this and we kind of stay in these positions for probably about like 2 or 3 minutes, because that's really how long it takes, you know, to really kind of get your body to relax over that tennis ball. And something that I say when I'm in a massage session is that it's very hard as a massage therapist when we're working on someone and we know that their body is not relaxed. They might be relaxed, but their body's not. And as a massage therapist, to tell somebody in an hour session, just relax, just breathe, relax your body, relax your head into my hands, relax your arm, relax your legs. It is equivalent, the word relax is equivalent to telling an angry woman to calm down. It does not happen. And it's never going to make the person relax anymore. They're going to be like, oh my God, Jennee, shut up, I'm relaxed. And I know you're not, because it's hard for me to get on a table and relax. So go ahead. And so I feel like really just taking our time with these kind of things really helps the body to, oh, relax, I'm okay to relax. And then go ahead and remove that tennis ball. And now you feel like you're sitting a little more even. But we've allowed more space in our body. So doing those things just what we did just now can really help to relieve any lower back pain. If you sit and you drive for a lot, if you are at a desk and you're sitting a lot, we can get a lot of tightness there in that lower back, and it can really help. Just keep a tennis ball. I also, another tip, I keep a tennis ball in a Ziploc bag in the shower. When I'm in the shower, I will use that tennis ball to massage the shoulder. I'll move my shoulder out. This thing is falling. There's lots of different ways that we can use this tennis ball. I also incorporate this tennis ball. We will go into the shoulder blades against the wall. So all of that amazing feeling that you just felt with our calves and the glutes in the class, it's a 75-minute class. We work the entire body. So imagine that feeling in your entire body once a week. And I promise you, it lasts for 3 days. I've had a few clients in class that they've been able to see their chiropractor less because their adjustments are lasting longer. They're able to go longer between chiropractic and massage sessions because they're doing these things consistently. And that is the key, consistency. If you're doing this consistently, your body will feel better and your fascia will thank you. Okay? So after, we have no fancy way of getting up because again, I'm not a yoga instructor. I'm too loud, I'm too obnoxious, and that's just a whole lot of movement that I don't want to do all the up and down. So at the end of class, we don't have any fancy way to stand back up. We just stand up however we need, but it's always more graceful at the end of class because we feel better. So thank you very much for coming. And does anybody have any questions before we conclude? No? All right. You can. Yep, that's actually how I started to decrease my pain level for fibromyalgia, is that I started doing that specific thing because my pain was more in my hips and then also in my hands. But that was where a lot of my pain was. So doing that every day, and again, after a while, you'll want to go from a tennis ball to either a lacrosse ball, or they even have they're called like trigger point balls, and they're harder like a lacrosse ball. I also have one that has like little nubs on it and everything. Feels amazing on the feet. And again, there's so many different ways, so many different things that we can do. In every class, we do some active stretching. We do some that is just more of a relaxing stretch, really combining a little bit of activity with this tennis ball in a certain area can really, really make a difference of feeling amazing. So, all right, yes. I'm going to say not that I know of, but that's something that we can talk about privately. Yeah, because it is possible. I will say that unless you've had like hip surgery, unless it's very difficult for you to get up and down from the floor, pretty much anybody can do the stretching. I may need to modify the tennis ball and do different things, but there's so many different ways to stretch the same areas, whether we use a tennis ball or we use a foam roller or, whatever it is. So, yeah. So, any other questions? Everybody's good? Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming. And then if you are staying for Kara's Kundalini and cupping, you can probably just stay here on your mat. And because I know that hers is going to be Kundalini yoga based. So otherwise, you can go ahead and stand up. Again, in no fancy way. And did everybody who wanted to get signed up for a door prize? Were you able to scan and enter for a door prize? Awesome. Do you need to scan and enter for your door prize? All right, you go ahead and hurry up and do that. You can just put him in. That's Ronald. You can go ahead and put him in. Yeah. today is your day, girl. Oh. Oh, I need a new picture. I need a new photo. Oh, I feel like I have so much more movement. Oh.